Hello, everyone. Ashley here, calling in from San Francisco. It's 4 p.m. for a bunch of you, but it is 7 a.m. for me. Either way, happy Friday and a big cheers to the weekend ahead. It seems like Mo got that started already. First, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. As usual, we are thrilled to have you. For those that aren't able to make it, all sessions are recorded and available to review on our Twitter space. Today, we kick off our third Twitter space. It is amazing how quickly the weeks pass, and it was only last week at this same time that we were speaking about refi and the journey of Menthol Protocol. And the week prior, we had our very first Twitter space. We made some team introductions, talked about sustainability, and even more about our protocol. But today, I'm excited to share with you that we have a few more team members joining us on the call who will say hello and introduce themselves. Once more, everyone, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to any questions you may have. Hello, Amir. I will pass the mic to you.
Thanks a lot, Ashley, as usual, for the lovely introduction. Also, a warm hello from Berlin. I'm super thrilled to welcome you to our third Twitter space of Menthol Protocol, the blockchain sustainability layer. And as Ashley mentioned, I can also assure you that we have amazing speakers today, namely the true magicians behind Menthol Protocol. They love to innovate in a lean, user-friendly, and cool way. Maybe before introducing the lean, mean, green blockbender, Mo the Machine, who is in our call, also our Menthol's Prince of Persia and Web3 frontline warrior, Moji, he'll also be joining us today. Maybe just to follow up before we hear those wonderful gentlemen talk with us, we would like to recap what actually happened in our last episodes. So one of the main aim was forming a common understanding of terms such as refi. So we discussed how regenerative finance differs from traditional finance in its ethics, strategies, and fundamentals. Just like to summarize it very shortly. In traditional finance, actually, it's all about accumulating wealth. It's about extracting value for a short time, and it's about seeing money as the end, not as the mean to an end. This is different in the regenerative finance field. There, we want to have circular systems benefiting all stakeholders, including and especially also Mother Earth. Hereby, money is seen not as the end to something, but as the means towards the end. The end is the happy stakeholders. As mentioned, including Mother Earth. So it's very interesting to jump into the topic of regenerative finance. What we also talked about last time was Web3 and how can it actually accelerate climate action. We understood that Web3 brings the innovation of tokenization and underlying financial systems along, which is in particular very helpful for the carbon credit offsetting market, as it brings liquidity, automation, and trust into this very important... sorry, my phone is going on over here. So it brings a lot of trust into this carbon offsetting market. Furthermore, we also understood Web3 along the evolution of Web 1.0 to Web 3.0, making the transition from Internet of Information, Web 1.0, like a read-only basis, to Web 2.0, the Internet of Interaction, and actually moving from there on to the Internet of Value, Web 3.0. Before leaving the stage to our mental wizards, I would love to shortly discuss in depth a bit more about Web 3 and also take a look at the evolution since the emergence of Bitcoin, so we better understand the Web 3 space and how Menthol can actually innovate here. So, Blockchain 1.0. Blockchain 1.0 is Bitcoin basically using the financial data stored on a decentral register with encryption included as a way to disintermediate banks, basically to have electronic cash payments without a bank. So this was Bitcoin 1.0, storing only the financial data on this decentral ecosystem. Blockchain 2.0, you can see with the event of Ethereum. So now the people said, okay, why, or Vitalik Buterin in specific said, why only have financial data on this decentral system, why not allow to build a decentral supercomputer where we also store algorithms and smart contracts onto this decentral infrastructure? They also innovated with the ICO, so actually giving out a token and using it to finance their business endeavors. With blockchain 3.0, we can see different dApps, different use cases evolving on the blockchain. If we look at the start, we definitely have to mention DeFi, decentralized finance applications, which basically allow for lending, borrowing, which allow yield-bearing protocols and also decentralized exchanges to exist, offering those functions without being an intermediary, without exploiting basically the users, in contrast to the platform economy where this could happen. Next to decentralized finance, actually NFTs were very groundbreaking, promising a broader adoption of Web3. Together with NFTs, also GameFi and metaverses have increased in popularity and in use cases. But now moving further ahead and actually looking at this very interesting intersection of climate action and Web3, we already discussed regenerative finance as a field emerging. So I think that was a small summary mentioning a few different points, also talking about the innovations within the Web3 landscape. Against this background, I'm super happy to hand over to the announced lean, mean, and green block vendor, Mo the Machine. Very happy to have you here with us. People keep asking, I'm in sales, so I'm talking a lot with the different partners, and they keep asking me, who came up with the name of Menthol's CoolPool? And it is Mo, ladies and gentlemen. So Mo, how are you doing and where are you calling from?
Thank you so much, Amir, for that. Amazing introduction. I feel like a wrestler in WWE. I think I should be ripping off my shirt or something right now. I'm not sure. Thank you. So
that for later for our YouTube sessions.
To be honest, I prefer the title Master of Crumpets. Well, you could also call me maybe Cool Daddy. So those two the titles might work. Other than that, I'll say, I'm calling in from a very meat-based country called Turkey. They love their meat here. And being a vegetarian, a little bit about myself, vegetarian, it's not always possible to find food. So, but fun fact, I'm still overweight. So I don't know if that. That's other than that, if I'm gonna go more into myself, because we have a lot of time left, I think. Okay, so I do say cool a lot. It's not even ironic that we're making CoolPools, Menthol, whatever. It's just I like saying cool. Actually, a rocket scientist. So yeah, I can use that. I love anime, so that kind of balances out the rocket scientist part. From Somalia. That's that's kind of the gist of me. If I was gonna just break it down into Lego, but to be honest, I think the name and came from, I'm not sure. I would say I was always thinking I was doing this word cloud type thing, just throwing up keywords like climate change and cooling the world, Web3, sustainability, and I was just reading a lot of different articles, and I really liked the idea of hey, we're actually cooling the world, and I was thinking around that lines, and I wanted something, that wasn't just too much on the nose, so I just thought, menthol could be cool. It's minty, it's fresh, we can make your NFTs even cooler. I like the concept around that, and I think that's also, I was really, I think I didn't really have much time as well to dive into the name too much because I'm doing a couple different things at the same time. So I think I landed on the first idea after the initial storyboarding. So yeah, but I love it. I think I also love our ticker, $cool. I'm surprised that it wasn't taken. So please, don't launch a large project with that ticker, please. Just wait for us. But that's I love the team, to be honest. I love where we are. Took a while to get here. Both from Block C, because I have another company startup, have two of the same founders also working together here at Menthol. And that was its own can of worms. And with Menthol Protocol, I think we were iterating on the idea of tokenomics for a long time, like maybe a year prior to even, starting like bringing up the team and fundraising. So we had a long time to think about what we were building. And I think we like really hit the hammer on the head of the nail. I think we really have something that we can, put ourselves helping everybody around us, sustainability suppliers, artists that are trying to, have, climate friendly NFTs, miners, dApp developers. We are in a position right now to kind of like help them all be sustainable or, sell their, very impactful sustainability assets. So, yeah. I mean, I could tell you the long and, dramatic, very tearful. I could tell you more emotional story how we got here, but, I think that we can save that for another Twitter space. It involves Somalia, it involves a lot of like, mentors dying and stuff like that, So, yeah, long story to get here.
Okay, got you. Just like help me a little bit out. Where did you live? I understand that you've been like all over the place.
Yeah, actually, I was born in Saudi Arabia. The only memory I have from there, because I left when I was really, really young, was Captain Subasu. In Middle East, they called it Captain Majid, which that was to my surprise that it wasn't called the Save Everywhere. But yeah, football character anime series. That's the earliest memory I have at 2 years old or something. Went to Canada. Went to actually Buffalo, New York. Stayed there for a few months. Also don't really remember that. And then lived in Canada for the next 12 years, specifically in Toronto. Loved it. It was beautiful. A lot of amazing parks. Baseball games. I used to love to play baseball. Did a bit of ice skating. Yeah, it was awesome. Then I went to Saudi Arabia for my teens, then Turkey for since then went to university in Turkey, to Middle East Tech University, studied aerospace engineering, did a master's software, started a company, met a lot of friends, met my wife while she was on Erasmus here from Slovakia, and I think we just applied for a national visa, and I might be going there next month to Bratislava, Slovakia. Be with my wife.
No, thanks a lot for filling us in a little bit here. So you also mentioned that you actually have a previous startup. You've been since 4 years in the space of sustainability and Web3. I understand Blockset offers as a provenance tracking of renewable energy credits. So you're a bit familiar with the space since a long time. What is the most exciting thing for ReFi or Web3 for you being in the space? Well, also a question for you.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, the most exciting thing for me is not like any use case or tech. It's just the social phenomenon, like talking to people with similar ideas as you, optimistic, trying to make a change. They're not always guided by like how much money they can make. Because, crypto, we always don't get a great reputation. We know that a lot of the projects that are being advertised the most sometimes are not exactly, able to, deliver. They're not really useful. They're hyped up sometimes. There's even straight up like one of the most innovative areas for scamming, phishing, psychological, social hacks. The best area right now, the most, teeming area is crypto, unfortunately. So what I think is the exciting part is the people. I think the climate friendly, eco-conscious or social, the people who care about like the social impact of their projects, meeting those people and then finding their use cases from like different areas, from like microfinancing, international payment settlement. It could be even just, have the fact that you can go on-ramp, off-ramp easily. These things have real impact, even though they're technically in the DeFi space, but they could help communities and, people that actually don't have those advantages have them for the first time. So for me, I would say the people working on the on Refi, I love them, and I really like talking with them.
Awesome. Well, actually, I had the pleasure of traveling around quite a bit for Menthol Protocol and meeting different refi folks at different states, different cities, and it's always being awesome. Yeah. So this whole spirit which you're just describing of let's say within the Web3 space and anyhow very collaborative space, actually going one level more into the let's say rabbit hole, into the refi Web3 rabbit hole. This is even more so the case. So I think last week our Twitter series was talking about different refi projects out there. With some of them we have already partnered. So it's such a lovely and great space, not only for the builders but also from the marketing perspective and collaborations.
Well, I also think, I mean, just to add on one more point, I'm definitely very, very jealous, and you better get an evil eye protection as soon as possible. In Turkey, it's a thing to protect to ward yourself from superstitious, basically envy, because apparently people have the power with their eyes to gleam laser curses. So yeah, I mean, get an evil eye protection because I'm very jealous, and probably it could reach you wherever you are right now. But in any case, the thing I like about refi also is that, it adds another win condition or lose condition, which actually exists. It's the impact you're having outside of your protocol or users, or ecosystem. Like, who are you impacting in the real world? If you're causing emissions, or you are, creating waste, or you're hurting people, or direct stealing from them, you're having an impact outside of your ecosystem. So the win condition normally would be like your users extract value, your investors make money, your protocol is sustainable in terms of its tokenomics, but also it adds another win condition in terms of the outside world, like the earth, climate, communities, local communities. People don't really have that much money that could get value from, let's say, getting microfinancing. So the extra win condition or lose condition, that being in your head while you're building the next cool protocol, I think that's awesome. It's also about generative finance. It makes you more aware of your impact.
Oh, awesome. Thanks a lot more for those lovely explanations. I will forget the thread for you were mentioning before. So lovely. Moving over to one topic which is of particular interest to me personally. Why do you think it's now a good time for Menthol Protocol to step out? I think you've mentioned it, and maybe me as well already here and there. But why do you think Menthol Protocol is now a good time to step out? You've mentioned that this idea has been quite long in the making, and I would love to hear about that from you.
I think the scene is set. We have the need for sustainability. DApp developers want to do it. Users want to use climate friendly dApps more and more. Investors are more interested in investing in projects that are not only economically viable, but also socially and climate have a positive impact. I think on top of that, for need being there and demand, let's say, sustainable application, I think the tools are there as well. Before, you didn't really have high impact carbon credits or ecosystem credits or renewable energy credits on chain. You didn't really have that, liquid, carbon markets on chain. So you didn't have automation networks that were in production until, recently. So all these different reasons, I think, for Menthol Protocol, at least from what makes Menthol Protocol more viable today rather than a year ago, is that we have all the ingredients that we need to create the protocol. We have the technical partners that we could leverage instead of building everything ourselves, and we also have awesome investors and soon to be announced closed beta partners that really want to jump on being climate friendly, and at the same time, I think people want to potentially crowdfund sustainability in their own ecosystem. So if you love your NFT project, or let's say you are an investor in DAO, maybe you want to make that ecosystem sustainable. With Menthol and CoolPools, you can literally kind of create your Kickstarter for that protocol or that NFT project. So yeah, that's, I think, why Menthol is more relevant than ever now.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Mo. So I totally agree. The strong supply side we have over here, and also the growing visions among different types of impact tokens evolving, is just very interesting. And in talks with different partners, having this demand-sided automation and basically providing a nice middleware for those refi partners has really proven to bring value to all stakeholders involved. So that's really cool. When we talk about blockchain and the different advantages, like of bringing those tokens on chain, we already mentioned there's more liquidity, or there's like even projects such as Solid World DAO, which provide pre-liquidity before the certificates are actually there to those projects. Besides liquidity, we also have a trusted system with the blockchain and with the public blockchain infrastructure. Furthermore, we also have a digital layer we are basically building upon. We're tokenizing things, we're tokenizing carbon credits there, and allowing in the digital sphere for automation through, example, Menthol Protocol, which automatically calculates on-chain emissions and automatically curates and purchases carbon credits in real time to allow real-time climate positivity. So what we are actually doing is we are like not tokenizing the world. What we are doing is we are CoolPooling the world. Our like question of today is, what the heck is a CoolPool? So a CoolPool basically is a Menthol user account which can represent an individual or an organization. We are starting in the Web3 world, so an individual user wallet account, or maybe a dApp, or maybe even entire network. That's they will have a CoolPool, which basically allow you to choose your settings. How climate positive do I want to be? What are the smart contracts that we are taking a look at to measure the on-chain emissions? So we basically take over this whole process, making it very interoperable. Next to that, you choose the carbon credits you want to basically use to offset your carbon footprint. So there are a few, or allocate funds to the CoolPool. So there are different ways to that. We heard that DeFi may play a role over here with Menthol's protocol, let's say, solution offering system. So how does Menthol Protocol use DeFi to basically allow for innovations such as no loss sustainability, which actually just allow you to set up one time a CoolPool forever for historic and all future carbon footprint offsets you overtake. So how does DeFi play along with Menthol Protocol, Mo? No loss sustainability. That's how you named it. Would love to hear about that.
Yeah. DeFi, I mean, I think obviously it's the leader in the space. It's kind of like the builder of a lot of tools we know today. It's the biggest area of use case. So I think for us, I mean, where doesn't it touch, right? I mean, we have, if we want these carbon assets, whether we want to purchase them from DEX like Uniswap or to an aggregator like 1inch, we're using DeFi protocols and tools, right? That's one area out of the gate. And on top of that, we also are integrating with lending protocols, or for now, we're thinking lending protocols. Tomorrow, it might be secure, like, relatively low risk, yield bearing protocols. So in the short term, we're thinking Aave, and we could be integrating with Aave. And the idea is, what we want to do is allow users to that are to deposit some asset that we allow for purchasing offsets, kind of like USDT, DAI, maybe USDT. They could be stable coins. Maybe in the far future, there could be any supported token from Aave. And the idea is that you can deposit your funds, earn interest, and if you deposit enough, the idea being your interest would be enough to pay for your your fees on Menthol Protocol. So purchasing those assets would be basically the majority of those fees. And what we think is this is going to kind of like spark a new way of like how to think about it. Like, because one problem I noticed, one pain point is people don't really want to come back and like top up funds, in like 20 different places, right? You don't really want to like, put money on a card and then, top up your gas bill. Some people still do it, but it's not maybe ideal, right? So we were thinking, how do we make this even easier from like a financial and just, financial management perspective, whether you're a user or whether you're a sustainability, director for a company. We thought, basically, users of protocols fund their no loss powered or lending powered CoolPools. They could actually make it sustainable indefinitely or for a very, very long time if the interest is not enough. So, for us, this is fun because it means that, it reduces customer churn or, people dropping off or forgetting to, deposit funds regularly. It's easier for the user because they can still choose from like normal deposits or lending deposits, and they can basically be comfortable with the fact that they'll be sustainable for a while. And I think what we're doing is using DeFi, the things that people have learned from DeFi, and integrating with them where possible, and basically creating a better experience for our users, making them sustainable and, making them not stress about it.
No, awesome. Thanks a lot, Mo, for explaining those two touch points of DeFi. I think one further interesting thing we'll see is for example, in our CoolPool, you will not only have to allocate funds to it, you will also have the possibility to allocate impact tokens directly to the CoolPool, which will be consumed over the time. So taking a look at tokenized carbon credits, which are staked somewhere or allocated to a CoolPool, we'll have more innovations in the future, which maybe allow yield, a yield for staking carbon credits tokenized, or you'll also have lending and borrowing options with those tokenized carbon credits. So I just wanted to highlight also those cool innovations, which how DeFi can interact with the tokenized carbon credit market. I heard of Rafael from Toucan Protocol speech, a snippet on YouTube where he was explaining how he sees. He explained it nicely. How a refi will basically, more and more substitute DeFi. So where we will have like a carbon-backed DeFi world. Very interesting stuff. I'm seeing actually that we've just got a couple of minutes left. So Mo, are there any special points which pop up to your mind for your first Twitter space? Is there any special thing you still want to do on your first Twitter space or say?
Yeah, thank you everybody for being wonderful. It went very smooth. I loved it. It was fun to talk with you guys, to share, to open up. Maybe I don't need to book a session with my therapist this week. I feel very relaxed now. So other than that, maybe one wish I would have is if Adam was listening or is still listening, I'd love to call him up to ask him a question. But if not, then I'll pull him in next time.
Yes, I think he'll be joining next time.
All right, cool. All right. Then I am looking for my wish to be granted next Twitter space.
Awesome. Sounds great. Ashley, thanks a lot for giving us the intro here. Now, I was talking so much, I didn't let you guide us to any more questions. But we still have 1 minute. So, Ashley, if you have a question, you can shoot it out. Not, we will close the Twitter space and look forward to our next round.
I'm all set. Thank you, guys.
Okay, awesome. So have a lovely start of the day, Ashley. Mo, awesome having you here.
Thank you so much.
Join our Twitter space.
Cool. All right.
Sounds great. So friends, next week, Friday, same time. Looking forward.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.